of the show
that informs, improves, and inspires racers everywhere.
The Northwest Race Report. The Northwest Race Report is brought to you by O'Hagan's Kart Supply, Lebanon, Oregon. You want to win? O'Hagan's wants to help. And by True Tech Automotive, Hazeldale, Washington. Get your car, truck, or tow rig repaired the right way, the True Tech way. And by Scott Seal Coat and Striping, Federal Way. For over 25 years, whether you're sealing or striping, you can count on Scott. And by Southern Oregon's karting headquarters, Speed City LLC, keeping racers on track with quality support and friendship. You're tuned in to the Northwest Race Report exclusively at terrybridges.com. And now back to your horsepower and performance hosts, Terry Bridges and Glenn Lippy Tower. Oh, wow. You know, it's only been a week, Lippy, and I don't know, man. It just feels like we have been out forever.
I'm telling you, it does feel like that. Tim Chase coming in at P1, Daniel Watkins P2. So, yes, sorry about that. I got to fix that right away.
Oh, what is it? Yeah, because I was hearing, I thought maybe it was the echo of the thing.
Yeah, I thought.
I had my volume up on my phone.
Tim Chase, oh, well, no big deal. P1, Tim Chase, boy, he's picking up where they left off, but we don't want to give too much of that up. Here's the deal, guys. Tonight, we're just winging it. If it wasn't for Lippy, we would not be here live. He went, where were you working? In Renton?
I was working in Renton today.
Which is well, it's not just it's a pretty good little jaunt, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It's up there a ways. I don't like going up north of me. If anybody follows me on Facebook, they're well aware of some of my posts I put up today of the traffic up there. But it was worth the trip. Renee was kind enough and Shane to haul our stuff back and forth from up here to down there and then back again. So they got stuck in a lot of bad weather and didn't come in until late last night. So she called me when she got up this morning, and I boogied my way up there after traffic and scooped up all of our gear and then sat in traffic and waited to get home.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sup, Tony Williamson? Well, so, you know, it's I guess, whenever you travel, it's always nice to get home.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But a big shout to Lip, who went all the way up there to Woodinville, picked up the gear, was here by 5. We had a little pizza and
started assembling.
Yep, and we made it. So
Woohoo.
That's all thanks to Glenn Tower, man, the guy that's amazing. So
we got it done.
We're back. The loader in the house. Dude, did you miss us?
Well, yes, I missed you. I see this walking through the airport with your selfie stick. I'm going,
That was pretty fun.
It was fun, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Lip was the driver. And, well, before we go any further, we'll get into that. We're going to tell you guys all about the story. We just have to. It's just part of the show. Some of you were probably there, but you still have to know how exciting this was for us, because this was really, I mean, honestly, other than the insane one, this was a big deal. This was a big deal for the Northwest Race Report. And we got some other news that's kind of, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of grim, but it's in another way. It's a good thing. So just a lot's happened. Jeff's got some cool stuff. So you know what? We're just gonna. I think we're just gonna get into it. All right. So this was our first time. For those of you that don't know, that you're just tuning in, it might be boring for you, but just hang tight. So we get a call. Lippy calls me up here about 2 months ago. And he says, hey, you want to go to the Classic, you know? And it's like, well, of course I want to go to the Classic, but you know, I mean, come on, how are we going to, no, I landed 2 tickets. You're kidding. And you're calling me, asking me if I want to go to the Classic? Of course. Yes. So we get to go, right? We make it. I get up Saturday morning and there's ice all over the road. Mm-hmm. I mean, there is ice all over the bloody road. I can't, you know, it's like, it's terrible.
Winter wonderland.
Yeah. I mean, it's like ice everywhere. So I go around the corner. I'm on my way to Lippy's, and I go, how did I just save that? I mean, I don't know how. I should have been in the dang ditch, right? I'm in the dang ditch. Yeah, that's Jeff. He's trying to open his Monster. It's child-proof, but he's getting it. He got it. So anyway, I'm calling Lippy, and I give him a call, and he doesn't answer. And I go, oh, my gosh. First thought in my mind is, did he oversleep? No way. Not Lippy. So I'm driving along, and I call, no, nothing. So then my phone rings. He goes, what? I'm like, hey, dude, I forgot where you live. Where do I go? So I go up the road. He says, go up here, do this, do that, do that. I get up there, so I got to call him back. I go, Lippy, where's your house? He goes, dude, you got to go up further. It's up by the church. Okay, so we get up there. I finally get there. He says, you'll see it. You'll see the church. You'll see the headlights of my truck running. I got it running. Okay, so I get there. We throw everything in there, and we get there. We're pretty much on time.
Yeah, we did good.
Except for moi. Because I go through and I've got the arms for the microphones, just some little stuff. So because we had a show before Renee and Shane took off. So, of course, what do? The gal she rapes my bag. I mean, she rapes it.
She turned it upside down and dumped it off the table. Literally.
I mean, she rapes this bag. And I had, and it took me a little bit to get everything in there just right so everything fit. So, needless to say, not that it would have stayed organized anyway, but I'm just shoving, Lippy's helping. We're just cramming stuff in this bag just to get it, you hold it down. No, you hold it. I got it. No, zip it. So we zip the thing. We get everything in there. It's like if one person were to touch a seam of that bag, the whole bag would have went kabloosh, and we would have had radio stuff everywhere. But that luckily didn't happen. And Lippy, I mean, from the time we dropped, it was absolutely incredible.
It was, definitely. Absolutely off the hook. Just everything about the trip and the people and everything went well.
Yeah, I mean, and Jeff, no, we are not doing this to rub it in. It's just saying next year you're gonna have to come with us. But I mean, I'd seen pictures of this place, and I had seen really cool. Lippy, you hit it on the head. I thought the track was a little bit bigger myself. You look at some of those pictures.
Yep.
And it looks like that straightaway is a half a mile long. Oh, just pop it. It's all right. Yeah, I don't think they're going to hear it anyway. You got it. Yeah, it's no problem. So I thought it was
professional.
Yeah, that's right. A professional silencer. Anyway, I thought it was bigger too. But nonetheless, Jeff, you talk about some of the tracks you go to and over, drag race and all that. They have that character, right? The fences, you know what I mean? The concession stands, just everything about them. There's just that homey racetrack feeling, right?
Yeah. Every track's got its own.
Exactly. This was exactly that, right? When we pulled in, it was this homey little. They've got where the scales go. They've got like a little mini sky bridge that you can walk across, and they've got a up, standing up area where a lot of the pictures are getting taken. Of course, they put us in the corner right underneath one of those plastic horns.
All right, here they come out of turn number 4, and your leader is Stephen Chase.
I mean, it was like, oh my goodness, but that's okay. I mean, it was just the welcome we got. Joe Torres, if you're tuned in, buddy, thank you.
Yeah, really.
It was unbelievable. I want to give a big shout out, 2 of them actually. The first one to Scott McDowell for the tickets. We wouldn't have been there without Scott McDowell and
Absolutely
Scott
not.
Sealcoat. And he still was, feeding us and making sure we had, it was just crazy cool. And the other guy is Michael Most Trucking from down there in Arizona. He put up the money for our rooms. We stayed at the Stay America. And I don't know about you, Lip, but, what more room do you need other than that?
No, it was nice. It was clean. It was. We had a kitchenette. If we'd have known that, we'd have brought some food. But we got fed quite well, anyways. So yeah, the room was nice and clean. And we got to also thank the Miller's Kitchen and Bath.
Oh my God, yes.
They rented us the awesome car that I picked out. So yeah,
I mean, it was. And let me just say, guys, it isn't often. Now, I'm going to say, because he said Mercedes. I was like, what do you, no. He says, no, absolutely no. I want to. It
was my thing.
I want to do this thing. I don't get to do this very often. And so I'm going to do it. Okay. So I was thinking we're going to get a Mercedes. Excuse me. But we get out and I go, Lippy, we're in the wrong car. No, we're not. Just get in. Okay. So I get in because I'm on my Facebook thing, He's about ready to say, just get your, So we get in there, and it's a BMW 680i.
No, it was an 840i.
Oh, it was an 840. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, baby.
And it had 8 speeds, because we were going through the
convertible.
It
was badass.
Oh, I can see your hair flying in the air.
It was.
Oh, your hair flew out.
It all flew out. That's what happened. I don't know how Lippy, I think, had a hat on, so he was good. But no. So
Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday we got there, but Thursday morning when we go out to the car, I said, how do you put the top down on this? He said, you're gonna put it. Yeah, it's nice. Okay. So we get in the trunk. I figure it out. He hits the button. He says, how cool is that? And I go, how cool is that? We
didn't have to touch nothing except for the button.
Yeah.
It was done.
Done. And so we get all done. It was getting a little chilly, so we said, hey, we're going to put this bad boy up. One button. I go, Lippy, is this trick? He goes, this is trick. This is really trick. So needless to say, we didn't do like Rowdy did on Days of Thunder because we didn't have anybody to go up against. But had we, it might have been a different story. But we drove it. We tested it out. Yeah, we tuned it up a little bit. We wanted to see what we tried for 3 days to get the traction control off. never did manage to get that. Lippy says, "Gosh dang it, I want to drive this thing without the traction control." So we're finding water. We're trying to find any little patch that's wet. Hey, maybe we can let me roll through this mud puddle. We're like in the burnout box. It's like totally
$300 a tire. I can understand why they got the traction control off.
So, man, we get there, and who's the first person to agree? It's Joe Torres. He's right there. Of course, there's Shane and Renee. They got their big gnarly setup there, and it looked awesome. When you pull in, and they got the Visqueen down. I mean, it is trick. I mean, it is really trick. But man, the sun was just going down. It was the first night was. I think we were just too excited to get cold.
Yep.
We were just like, oh. So we get all set up. We called the races, and then that night, of course, we had the show. Well, if Lippy could have found, I don't know, he was looking for stuff, but he had his coat zipped up and the hood. I mean, you could just see him. He was just like, it got a little bit cold. But that was the coldest night, I think, was Wednesday.
It was, yeah.
So all I can say is, from my end of it, holy cow. Lip.
It was a phenomenal trip, a phenomenal track. They do great down there. The cement grid area was awesome. It's also cement when you come off the track all the way to the scales. It just everything about the place down there is just top notch. Everything's painted nice, black and white checkers everywhere. Even the announcer's booth up on top of the snack shack and everything was just tight. It was tight.
It was tight. And big shout out to Scott Batten, who I thought did an outstanding job calling the action there live.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Great announcer. Really really good stuff. We spent Thursday, or I did most of it. Lippy, thank God, he was a saving grace, but we had some issues with the computer. It come to find out it was just a matter of 2 plugs and everything worked fine. So we spent all day reloading and redoing. So I don't know what kind of mess I got there now, but
Well, it was the two plugs that we figured out later, but also, we should go into the whole thing about our website and why it's gone and
yeah.
and what we're doing about that.
Well, so I thought there was something wrong with the site.
And that's the terrybridges.com.
Correct. Well, come to find out, the guy that was hosting it,
Our web provider, yes.
he decided that, I don't know. I wasn't paying anything for it, but of course he wasn't asking anything for it. So, I was kind of like, boy, and I mentioned later on, I said, what is going on here? I mean, there's got to be a catch or something. So sure enough, that's what it was. So he basically turned the hosting off. He said he sent me several emails. I've gone back. I don't see any. But nonetheless, based on some of the things I've heard and whatever, I should have known, but that's, that's the way it is. I'm not here to beat the guy up. He is. So he says, well, so I wanted to switch. I get on the phone instantly to Brian Esquinia from Blue Line Graphics, who, the guy's a jewel. He's always right there. He's always got something positive to say. He says, don't worry, whatever we need, I've got whatever we need to do to get things up and keep it running. Okay, great. So this whole trip, we're going, what is going on? And Lippy says, well, we got to get to the bottom when we get back. Absolutely we do. So I find out on Saturday what happens. I'm up at Washougal doing a hangover scramble. That was interesting. But he wants to sell it. He says he's got an attorney that wants it. How, I don't know. Okay, great. Well, he says, well, and I want $1,000 for it. And I said, well, you own it. You sell it. You good luck.
Have fun with that.
I'll start over. So that's what we're doing. So in the meantime, Brian Esquinia he's gonna take care of some stuff for us. It'll be nwrr.live. It'll be www.nwrr.live. That will be the new web page that we'll have. It'll essentially be just like terrybridges.com. It'll just have a different address. So give us a couple weeks to make sure everything gets up and going. We'll have that back. Hopefully better than ever this time, so we can kind of, really get some cool stuff. Because I want to get Jeff a page, and Lip had his page, but I got to get some stuff sorted out so those guys can put up posts whenever they want, and you guys can go read whoever you want. We're just going to have some cool stuff going on, plus the videos and everything coming up. So it's probably, I guess, Lip just as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was time to sever our agreement with him, or lack of one, and move on to our own thing with somebody who's going to take better care of us. So
that's in a nutshell. That's basically it.
So that's what happened to the terrybridges.com. It is no longer. If you go there, you might end up in an attorney's house, which might work out for you, but maybe not. So, but yeah, we're going to be on to a new one, and as soon as we get it all hammered out and put together, we'll be posting it everywhere. Don't worry.
But a huge thanks, Brian. I see you're on here. You know what? You got a teammate when. I mean, I call him. The last time I went through this, I called him in a panic because it was like, I just don't know enough about all that stuff to really. I'm just smart enough to get us in trouble, right? So, but he answers. He's there. He's like, "Don't worry about it, buddy. What do I need to do? I've got a spot. If you need something right away, we'll get something." I mean, just ready to do whatever to keep the show on. And Brian, I know it doesn't seem like very much, but that just goes a super long way, and it just shows me that I'm just glad you're our teammate. That's all I know.
Definitely a quality
That's all
guy.
I know. Yeah. So with that, we've kind of talked a little about Arizona, and that's kind of what we thought we were going to do tonight. We got I'm going to give Steven's at work. He won day 2. I might even call Diotti and bug him, which you should be thinking about swag. If you're looking for swag, I think it's worth $100 to you. If you're wearing some Diotti swag and you happen to win the BK. And I think there's some other stuff going on that will, what do I want to say? You may even get some money even if you don't win, if you've got some DRI swag on. So go to www.DRI-online. I think that's correct. Is that right, Diati? I hope that is right. www.DRI-online.com. I think that's right. If you use NWRR20, which I hope you guys do, because it lets them know how we're doing as far as the show and getting some advertising out there. I'd love to have him as an advertiser. You get 20% off your order. So that's a smoking deal. That's a really good deal. So T-shirt, hats, he's got the hoodies, whatever. You got taken care of, by the way, didn't you? He's gonna send you one, or you hope he is, or
he's bringing mine to the BK, but I held out on him because I'm going to use his website. So
sweet. That makes us. It just punches the numbers, right? See, Lippy, he's always thinking. See that? I love it. I love it.
So yeah, I'll be doing that, and I already talked to him about bringing it up to the BK. So.
And what did you think about all the fans following us while we were down there? It was pretty awesome, actually.
Oh, it's definitely awesome. Yeah, I every time I turned around, there was somebody else that knew my name that I didn't know. So it was good times down there for sure.
Yes,
and I got to meet a lot of people that I've only seen online. So it was a lot of fun, and there's a lot of competition down there.
There was, and the other cool thing, and I know we're just talking about this it was just such there was just so much going on.
It's an experience.
It was an experience.
It's a first time experience, and something like that, you got to be excited about it. If you're not, you shouldn't have went.
Yeah, but we were leaving, I think, on Saturday, and Lip was getting the car, loaded up and getting it running, and a guy came by, and he's in this big beat up old Chevy pickup, but he says, hey Terry, what's going on? So I go over, and I said, wow. I go, what's your name? He says, you don't know me, I'm just a fan. And I thought, wow, how flippin' cool is that? I mean, that's when there's times where you go, man,
is there anybody out there?
Yeah, or am I touching the right people? Am I doing the right stuff? And you get a comment like that, and I went back to the car. I go, we must be doing something right, because he says, you don't know me. I'm just a fan. So we got people listening. I think we're on the right track. I think
that's just like with our gentleman a couple weeks ago there with Tristan. One of the guys at work, his wife's related to him, and so they just sent out a link on the Facebook, and then that just went wild.
Did it really?
Everybody, they wanted to listen to Tristan, and so that's hey.
So I guess and I'm just gonna say it. A big shout out to all you guys for supporting the show. I mean, it was just I didn't really realize how many people we were touching until we get down there, and it was just like, oh my goodness, this is pretty darn cool.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I think that last weekend was a big eye opener for me, and also when we had C High Performance on, and we don't realize how many people we have that are lurkers that don't chime in on the chat line each and every week. That are just there in the shop listening to us while they're wrenching on their stuff, and that to me means a lot.
It does mean a lot. It means everything to me. I agree with you, Lippy, 100%, because. Boy, when people say they're listening to you out in the shop while they're working, to me that's a big deal.
It is.
I mean, I just didn't put anything on when I was out in the shop. It had to be, something.
Well, I couldn't. Otherwise, I'd forget what I was doing.
Old honest Jeff, he just tells it like it is. I tell you what, that's crazy. But we had Double M chiming in. We had Kelsel was on. We had, it was just awesome. So from the bottom of my toe, from the very tips of my toes to the bottom of what hair would be there, man, JP says I'm a lurker.
Thank you, JP. I sat next to him on Friday night and had dinner. So
Man,
that was
how awesome was that?
That was a great night. I enjoyed the pizza there at JoJo's, I believe it was the name of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good place.
Yep.
Great times that night. Had a great time.
You know, and Jeff, we talk about it. We sit here and talk about it all the time. But, I mean, you go to these things and you see all these people and, gosh darn it, you know, racing's just got a good bunch of folk in it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing to me how just truly just freaking caring and just they're just wonderful people. I mean, I don't even want to get emotional about it and everything, but it's just really neat, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's freaking great. I think all I bought all weekend was beer for myself. Everybody else bought my meals and my lunches, and I didn't do anything, you know? I mean, just, wow.
Well, you know, and your experience with the carts is like mine is with the drag racing and the big cars. I go to Woodburn once a year, basically, for the points meet. And there's guys from California that I see once a year. You know, you're walking through the pits. Jeff, what's going on? Hey, what are you doing? You know, it's stuff like that makes it all worthwhile.
It does. It does make it worthwhile. You know, and they're thanking you, and you're like, man, I'm as fortunate to get to bring you this stuff. You know, maybe as you think you are, you know, listening to it. So, I mean, it's, hey, I guess what it's saying is we're here for a while, you know, and I guess we'll know when it's time to move on. But hopefully that's not for a super long time. But man, I'm just gonna tell everybody, and we said this on Facebook and everything. Save your money to get to go to this thing. We need to get this thing back up to where there is 300 or 400 entries.
Yeah.
Right, Lippy? I mean,
yeah, definitely.
It's cool.
I'm saving right now just so we can go back down in September.
Yep, it is that. It's that cool. So you guys save it. Brian Williamson, Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to everybody out there. You made ours just fantastic. It was
good times.
You know, and because I was going to say, well, God, Jeff says, I tried to tune in. I did. But I was like, you guys are down there, and I'm not.
That was enough. I couldn't do it.
But
especially after the selfie stick to the airport, that was it.
Yeah, and we got that one guy. He was honest about the snowmobiles.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Did you catch any of that on that? Oh my gosh. He was like at first he was like calling us out, I think, you know, but I'll have to go back and look at his name, but super nice guy. And I think what he wants is he just wants somewhere to run. You know, and get and be able to run his stuff. He's saying, you know, we're no bigger. We're not trying to ask for more, you know, we're twin cylinders, but we just want to run with you guys, you know, and
I think him and Berkfield actually hooked up and spoke for a while, because I seen now Berkfield put up the rules after that, and then he actually did say when they were going to be what do they call that? Going over the rules again for the
reevaluating, I guess.
Yeah, UAS package. So it's definitely something that's he's thinking about now. So that's a great thing.
Well, and we tell you here all the time.
Gene, there we go. Thank you, KB. Gene just put his name up there.
Yeah,
KB
Mean Gene. He was a good guy. I really enjoyed him. He didn't, you know, and I said, doesn't do any good to call. I don't think anybody's saying one's better than the other. We just, you know, it's just a basics of rules. But wow, just wow, Lippy, add to it if you want. I mean, because it was just absolutely the hot dogs. I think Brad Berg said, are the hot dogs all they're cracked up to be?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I like the one with the Frito chips on it myself. That was the best one for me. And wow.
It wouldn't have been good for you, Jeff. Not if you're trying to, you know, watch your...
Well, yeah, I came
Well, yeah, and you're trying to keep your stuff under control. You know, that's not easy to do with the...
But you have splurge days. Just because it happened to go for a week would, you know.
Well, Lippy goes, I said, hey, Lippy, come over here for a second. I was over by the hot... He says, you better not have bought me another hot dog. I'm done, man. I can't eat anymore. This is like ridiculous.
Every time I went near that place, somebody was buying me another hot dog. I'm like, golly, got no room for beer.
And get this, Diotti gets out of buying first round.
He did. Who got him for us, though? Chase? Or
Uncle Chuck got us around.
Yep, Uncle Chuck got us around.
Shane Smith got us around.
Yeah, you got me around.
You got me around.
Well,
You got me more than around. And what else? Shane and Renee got us dinner at the Italian place, which was.
Yep.
Dude, I had the peppers and Italian sausage over spaghetti. Ooh,
it was good.
That'd have to be a separate room.
They had ventilation.
I wasn't that bad, was I?
No, we had ventilation. It was all right. It was the first hotel I've been in forever that actually had a bathroom fan. Can you believe that? It was high class.
He wouldn't let me take a shower one night for a while. He says, "You're not going in there for a while because it wouldn't matter. There wouldn't be a curtain, so I'm waiting for the curtain to grow back. Then you can go back in there."
That was a rough one.
He says, "Terry, please, you do not want to go in there." Okay, I won't.
He respected it.
That's the Fritos.
But really, for two guys and one, it really wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
I mean,
it was a nice room.
It was a nice room.
We trashed it, but it was a nice room.
We didn't. We didn't really trash it. Well, maybe we didn't really trash it. There was just there's a lot of wrappers and stuff there, I guess. But that was.
We didn't have a bottle opener, so I used the counter all night.
There's probably chips out of the counter for sure. Oh, but you know what? Hey guys, I'm just going to tell you that is right there why you do these trips. I mean, the racing was spectacular.
Wow.
But as much as that is the experience you're going to have with the other folks there, and even with the people that may come with you. I mean, these will be memories that I have for forever. I mean, and there really weren't that many scary
I just
ones.
thought of a theme song for you guys.
What?
I Can't Drive 55.
No, we didn't either.
Nowhere. Yeah, there was
on the brake and one on the gas.
Oh no, he didn't have his foot on the brake. Trust me. As soon as
he was power braking.
As soon as it didn't work, his foot was off of that brake, and we were wound through every gear. I think would we make it to fourth gear, fifth gear?
Yeah, we ran out of road every time.
Yeah, Lippy says, "Damn it, I want to get this thing to eighth gear." Shoot, we were already going 88 miles an hour in like fourth gear. This thing just was wound tight. So it was. You're gonna love it next year when you go. It's gonna be.
We'll get a 4-door next year.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, hey, right on. Renee Angel says, "Hey, we're sitting at Red Robin eating dinner, watching the chat, having a beer." Well, thank you, Renee, for.
We had dinner and a beer already.
Yes, but thank you for the beers and the dinner for toting our stuff. I mean.
Much appreciate that.
Here's my deal. I asked Shane this, and you're probably not going to hear it because you're not on the chat. But I sent Shane this message. I said I just have a question. Oh, does your wife work for herself or does she work for somebody? Because I'm thinking, holy smokes, they're gone a lot. They go racing a lot. So I'm pretty sure with Renee's engineering background. And her, hey, what up, Kyler Culver? Scott McDowell, what up? I'm just wondering, does she work for Microsoft or is she like a?
She's an IT gal, so she can make her own hours, but she's not that type. She's a workaholic, just like everybody else, I guess. So, but she can work from home if she wants to, but she chooses to go in most of the time. So, yeah, she's an IT gal, and she's good at what she does. So, that's job security right there.
Yeah, that was amazing. So, and then I saw Shane, and he sent me one of the coolest messages I probably think I ever got. But he says the classic was better because you were there. And I was like, "Wow, that's." I mean, how do you answer that kind of stuff?
I got it. I know how we can do it. We can bring on the winner of Friday night.
Yeah, we can do that. We're about ready.
7:00.
Let's do it. I'm gonna give him a buzz here. He said it'd be easier to call him because he's probably at work. So we'll try it. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Steven, hang on.
Your favorite drivers and people of interest in the motorsports world. It's time for In the Seat, powered by Blue Line Graphics.
So we've been talking about Arizona. I want everybody to welcome day 3 winner, or day 2 winner, however you want to look at it, Stephen Chase. What's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you? Are you all recovered from the big trip?
Yeah, now it's back to daddy duties, chasing my 2 kids around.
Yeah. It's always cool to go racing, but there's nothing like getting home, is there?
Yeah, nice little vacation.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna turn over to Lippy because he's got some really cool info that you got to him. But Chase, I gotta say, man, dude, you rolled it. I mean, Diotti got day 1 because he got out there pretty early. But boy, you found something on day 3. You guys were really good.
Yeah, we kind of missed the tires a little bit on the first day. We didn't get to practice real well. Practice day, we kind of fought a fuel delivery issue with our new motor all day practice. We kind of struggled there a little bit. Worked on it, ended up finding some issues and getting it fixed into practice. And then we started off the first day pretty strong in the heat races. And then the track kind of made a change for us, and it changed in a direction we kind of missed a little bit with tires. But Ryan was bad fast all day, And then day 3, the track kind of started coming around to us, and we watched the weather and the track all day, and we actually added a little bit of cross weight to the cart, and that seemed to really help it rotate, and we were able to get the win.
Boy, dude. So walk me through, because I'm filming this thing, and I look back, and the next thing I know, I see you going around, and I mean, I'm seeing chaos, and then I'm going, what? Because Cervantes, what he broke, and it looked like he cut down from the top of the track right at just past start finish. The next thing I know, I don't know if you clipped him or he clipped you, but you were going around, and then I'm going, hold it, wait a minute, he spun. Why is he going back to the front? Is he going to the back? And then it looked like you were going to the back, and then you were going to the front. So I was like going, what in the hell?
Yeah, everything happened super fast right there. We came out of turn 4, and I was coming up on Sam, and I believe it was Mike Cochran. I'm not sure. I believe it was Gresh's cart. And I saw him in the front straightaway, so I dove down low to go by him. And right about the flag stand, I think Sam didn't see me there, and he turned down right into me. I ended up clipping his nose with my right side panel. The front of my side panel caught his nose. Ended up tearing the nose off of his cart, and it sent me into a spin. And then I got back going. Luckily, nobody got hurt. And I guess the caution was out. They had thrown a caution for Sam because I think he broke his jack shaft, they said. So they'd refer back to
that makes sense. That's right. The last completed. So
yeah, we actually led that lap. We according to the videos and stuff, we actually crossed the start finish line backwards, still leading that lap.
Well, see, and that's the part. It happened so close to start finish. I didn't see the yellow out. I didn't even really think that yes, you just crossed the line leading it. So yeah, so I guess that makes perfect. That was the right call. So hats off to those, because they were doing that by hand.
Well, yeah, and even if it didn't count that lap, if the yellow had came out before that, he was leading the lap before that one even too. So it wouldn't have mattered. They made the right call basically. Even though we were questioning it at the time, they made the right call.
Yeah,
which
they did
great.
make the right call. Yeah, absolutely. So
I'm glad nobody got hurt, because we were closing in on them pretty quick. It could have been a lot uglier than it was.
Boy, you can say that again.
A little bit of body damage is minimal compared to somebody getting hurt. The closing rate is really crazy on those cars when something goes wrong.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
The important thing is nobody got hurt right there, and they made the call. I wasn't sure what happened, but they put back in the front and ended up going and finishing the race in the front. So,
And dude, and I saw you fist pump. I mean, that's a big race to win, isn't it?
yeah, we're pretty excited. It's nice to kind of end it strong there. I'm not sure if we're going to be going back next year or not. Kind of on the tail end of the karting thing, I think, for us. So we kind of been talking some different things. I'm not sure what's going to pan out, but if we end up not going back there, it's kind of nice to finish strong. So,
boy, I'll tell you what, that would be. Well, I mean, I understand. Are you thinking cars maybe, or something you don't want to say right now, or?
We're not real sure. Just family stuff. I got 2 young ones, and they keep me real busy, and kind of want to do stuff with them and a couple other different racing things. I mean, we may not be done, but we're just kind of talking about it right now.
Right.
At this point.
And I hear you. It's a lot for a young dad, especially with the kind of job you've got too. You've got an awesome job, so you don't want to, you got to be putting towards that, But we're just selfish, We're just sitting here talking about how great the people are, and it just showed me beyond belief. Just what an awesome event that whole thing was. I mean, wow.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the best track in the West Coast by far. I mean, beautiful weather. The track was, smooth as glass. It was fast. I mean, the level of competition is extremely high there. It's definitely a track to race on. It should be on everybody's bucket list to go to the Classic and run on that track.
Yeah, it was. The only bad thing was your wife couldn't make it, or was she there?
No, she couldn't make it this trip. She wanted to come, but it didn't work out with the work schedule and the kids. She's going to try to make it to the BK, though. She really wants to go there with the kids. So
and that's really let's just talk about that for a minute, because, boy, if you could get up here and you could get that W, that would almost, well, we hate to say it, but that would almost solidify your karting career, would it not?
Yeah, we definitely would like to get a win at BK, that's for sure. It's definitely not an easy task, because the level of competition gets higher every year, and I'm sure it's going to be extremely high this year too. So we're just going to give it our best shot, bring our A game, and hope for a little luck, and maybe we can seal a deal this year.
Yeah, you're definitely due, because what you were really close. BK, was it 3 or no? It was 4. When you first came up with, I think it was Brad Berg, and wasn't Mello up here too that year?
Yeah, that's I think that was our first year up there, and we ended up hurting a motor on practice day, and then JP stepped up and offered us his backup car to run, and we
almost had it. Yeah.
Yeah, we ran second to Felch that year. The Felch was fast.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. But you're due. It owes you one. So talk about just the track was in great shape. Did you know they used Downy on that track?
No, I had no idea. I know they put a lot of calcium down there on the track and water. Tim does a great job, and it never surprises me how great that track is over there. I mean, it's always awesome. He does an awesome job with it.
Wow, that coming from you guys, that's a big deal, because it didn't chunk up. But he says even when it does chunk up, what do you say, Lip?
He takes straight Downy and just pours it into the puck hole, and then finds the puck or the piece that popped out of it, and tamps it right back down in there, and then starts to pack it down, and yeah, it works great. I mean, it definitely, you can smell it in the water truck when he's making laps. It smells like a laundromat is when he's going by. So it was quite interesting to find some of that stuff out. I want to talk a little bit about your kart and you over the weekend. The track
Okay.
The track changed dramatically from Wednesday to Friday, did it not? I mean, like Wednesday, excuse me, it had quite a bit of moisture in it, so it was a totally different track compared to Friday.
Yeah, the sun never came out on Wednesday, so the track kind of stayed damp, and the grip level never got real high, and that really made us struggle with the chassis and tires.
That was the only day I seen duff or fluff on the track, was on Wednesday. After that, it never appeared again. So that was obviously because of the moisture. But and they told me that a couple weeks or a week before that they had a lot of rain down there. So that's kind of not characteristic of the area. Is that correct?
No, that's right. Yeah, Tim did a awesome job. I want to say the track was horrible. Like a week prior, they said from all the rain, a bunch of rain gutters in it. When we got there, the track looked beautiful from the stands. You know, he had just cut it. They said he spent 30 hours on it. I mean, it looked amazing. He comes over to us and says, "You better wish you had suspension in your cart. You know, it's gonna be rough out there." After the first time on that track, man, it was smooth as silk.
Yeah, it wasn't rough.
No,
Wow. Well, Jeff,
it was awesome.
Jeff, tell us 30 hours prepping a track. That's because you've been on the grader. That's a lot of work.
That's a whole bunch of work. That's more than they put in at Grays Harbor for a week.
Wow. See, and that's just
That's dedication.
it is, and I think Steven, you probably know better than anybody, but that guy, that's his racetrack, is it not?
Yeah, no. Whenever he preps the track, it's gonna be perfect.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't accept anything less except for that. So your speeds down there stayed pretty average, or close to the same. Now I talked to you on Wednesday, and you said that it was around 74 miles an hour, I believe, was your top speed, and you were between 46 and 49 in the corners as far as your slow speed. Did that stay both Wednesday and Friday?
Yeah, actually, the lap times. The mile an hour dropped a little bit on Friday.
Okay,
the lap times were still there. I think that's kind of relative to the cart changes we made. We made the cart rotate a little better in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to carry a little more corner speed this time. And our track times were the same, if not a little faster, but the mile an hour was down, about 2 to 3 mile an hour. It was still 70, 71 mile an hour peak on Friday. And I want to say it was mid-40s in the corners.
Yeah, your dad sent me 46, so it slowed down like 3 mile an hour in the corner. I was just going back to my notes, so that's pretty good though. I mean, you made you slowed down, but you kept speed. So I guess the grip was there then, basically.
Yeah, the grip was a lot better on Friday for us on our cart, anyways. On Friday,
and you,
go ahead.
And you guys were running blues, Maxxis blues, which are no longer in production. But
yes.
And they were thin cut, and your dad sent me a message saying that Berg was on thick blues. So what made you decide to go to a thin cut? Is that just something you guys have learned from there, or was it an experiment?
My tire guy, he made the call. I just drive it. I told him put whatever you think is going to work on there, and I'll drive it. And I don't even ask anymore. I have a lot of confidence in my dad, and he does the best he can with the tire program, and he usually puts the best tires we have on the cart for me come race time, and usually with a little luck we end up doing pretty well.
Well, there was no luck. It was all skill on your guys' team for sure, because it was hooked up. I know the majority of the rest of the field was on blue Vegas, which was very popular. I think I seen some yellow Vegas down there as well, which were very popular. Vegas in general, anyways. So.
Yeah, we ran the blue Vegas last year when we got the win. We tried to set earlier. I want to say it was the first heat race, and we ended up smoking the right rear tire off it with the blue Vega.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not real sure what was done to the tire. Like I said, I don't really question my dad and his tire stuff. I usually just have full confidence in him and say, here, put on what you think is going to work. And he does, and that's what we go with.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He definitely gives you the credit as being the pilot. So, and you do a great job of that for sure.
Well, Diotti's on here. He said the track got shorter.
Oh,
and he said the track was way better on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I want to ask you. You said earlier in the interview, you said new motor. I wasn't aware of this. Obviously, it's a 450. But what did you guys do, if you would be so concerned?
Oh well, we've been running the chain-driven jack shaft in our motor, and it's always been kind of a questionable area, if it's going to live or if it's going to break. And we were scared to put a little more power into the motor with the chain being the question. So my my dad worked real hard and developed a belt drive for one of ours. And so with doing that, we decided we wanted to try to make a little more power.
Oh,
So
okay.
we ended up building a whole new motor, made a couple changes on it, and tried this belt drive system out. Um, so we went down, and the motor's never been ran before until the Classic. We got it all together, went down the street at home a few times with it, and we were fighting little tuning issues there. We went to our buddies over at Racer's Edge in Tucson. We went over there day before the race and put on a dyno and got it all tuned in, and it ran great. And we hit the track on practice, and the thing wouldn't cut the corner at all. It was just you put pedal to the floor, nothing was there. So after some diagnostics, we figured out that it was out of fuel. The fuel delivery was an issue.
Oh,
So we ended up making some changes there and crept up on it. And by the end of practice day, we had a good running piece.
yeah,
So,
you for sure did. So is your motor an injected or a carbureted motor?
no, it's still carbureted.
Oh, wow. Nice. Well, that's respectable then. I
Well,
know the injected ones.
It
give
doesn't
you-
shouldn't really surprise it with Chase, right? I mean, he's a guy showed up here the first time he was right in the hunt. I mean, he's been there. I mean, Chase, you're just the guy, dude. I mean, and that's what you were saying. You say the level of competition up here is so great. Good grief! It is great when you think about it.
Well, he's part of the reason that raising the bar at each and every one of them. And a carbureted motor is definitely a little bit more harder to tune than an injected motor for sure. So hats off to his dad there and everything they're doing in that team for sure.
It's definitely a team effort. We work hard at it, and my dad puts a lot of long hours in the shop. I just kind of help with the motor stuff and show up every now and then and tighten a few bolts for him. But most of the karting program is definitely my dad's deal.
Wow. So do you share info with Diotti? I'm just curious at all ever.
Yeah, we're pretty close. We talk every now and then. Obviously, he's a few hours away, but him and I have kind of been talking, and he wouldn't mind going to the coast of this one of these days and kind of hanging out. We both have little ones now, so my son Levi and his son Chase have a good time, and our wives seem to get along pretty well. So hopefully we can start doing some stuff, outside of the racing and, on the friendship side of it.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Sweet, yeah.
That's super
good
cool.
memories there.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Steven, I know you've been talking about this till you're purple, but I appreciate you being on the show, man, and so looking forward to getting to see you again here at the BK. It may be, hopefully it's not the last time, but maybe for a little while anyway. So always look forward to that, man.
Well, thank you for having me, Terry. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Absolutely, Steven. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, do they get any classier than that guy right there?
Don't know him, but listening to what he's got to say,
Wait till you meet him. He's a
Class act.
he's just an incredible guy.
well, I'm looking forward to the BK. I have just a little bit of what I've got to watch them carts kind of jacked me up a little bit to where I want to see 20 of them.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And I don't know. Did you see Chizzy's post there? There was some talk about having a $15,000 to win centrally located. I think Chris Vieira started that up, one of Joe Gibbs' guys. But they were talking, he's got a decal place down there in California, I think. But he was talking about getting something together. It was a $15,000 to win at a central location with all UAS guys. Boy, would that be just, and that's exactly what Chizzy messaged me. He says, Terry, this is exactly what we've been talking about. And so that very well may happen here, super shortly.
Well,
so.
and these unlimited carts, they deserve the money.
They need to
That's-
be getting paid, these
That's
guys do.
the innovations.
Yeah. You can't, you just have no idea. And I mean, Lippy can attest to this because, I didn't even know I can't remember what day it was, Wednesday or whatever, but Renee pops a motor, and I mean, I don't know that they would have made it if you wouldn't have been. I mean, somebody may have helped them, but Lippy jumped in there to help them get the motor on. But, I mean, it's a lot of work, man.
It is a lot of work, and yeah, I did dive in because they're Northwest people, and I support my people. for sure. So we had a great crowd down there with Rusty King and Daniel Watkins and Dan Watkins and Shane Smith and Ryan Culley and Kevin White and Uncle Chuck and Renee and Shane. And yeah, I'm just I was there to do a show, but I'm also behind my people. Once you make your way into my would we say cracks and crevices, you're there. I'm there to support you. So if I need to do something to facilitate everything, that's what I do. That's who I am.
Yeah, that's awesome, Lip. And, but that's what I'm talking about. You say, well, they deserve to get paid. They do.
Yeah.
They spend the money. They spend the dedication. They're entertainers. I mean, they are. They're actually there to help entertain us. And, I mean, they deserve a little something. I mean, they're spending some big money and splitting hairs,
Well, I was eavesdropping down there at Salem that last time, and Renee was talking with Milt, and they were talking about some stuff, and she said what they had in the cylinder head, and I just went, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had cylinder heads on my drag race motor that didn't cost me that, and that was more valves.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And if you look at the pride and the seriousness, how they take it, I mean, this is not a joke for any of these people. I mean, they're there just like the Cup guys are there doing their job. I mean, they are true pros at what they do. I mean, they are true pros.
They're pros. There's no doubt about that. But they're also innovative and innovators. I mean, look at Tim Chase. Look at Larry Bridges, KB's dad. Look at Jan Ward. When this got started with the 450s on these carts, everybody was running the chain drive, and that's inside the case, and it is very worrisome. It's a large chain flipping around in an aluminum case that if and when it does break, which everybody knows the chain gives up after a while, or the gear goes away, and it's inside of a case, so you can't always keep your eyes on it unless you decide to take it apart each and every race. That stuff starts coming apart after a while, and when it does, it takes the case out. And when it takes the case out, the motor's done. You got to find new cases and put it all back together. And now what's it taken? A year and a half now, and they're wedging these belt drivers in there that are much more forgiving and don't tear shit up as bad. Excuse me. When they
that was epic.
When they go bad and start flipping around in there, it doesn't hurt a bunch of stuff. So it just goes to show you, the way people in this industry are innovative and they're coming along. I mean, if you guys ever get a chance, look up Kevin Bridges on the internet. His father does some of the most off the hook stuff ever. I mean, he's doing some stuff that your jaw's gonna drop. We're talking, I don't want to give away a lot, but we're gonna be seeing a nitrous cart here real soon, okay? And he's gone so far as to put a bottle heater on this thing, because if anybody knows anything about nitrous, you go popping the button more than once or twice, and what's going to happen? That thing ices up. That's just the way nitrous is. He's figured out a way to warm the bottle, okay? So if and when you ever see Kevin Bridges at the racetrack, my goodness, go to his pit and just spend some time looking at this thing. Even the shifter on this thing that crosses over the chassis and comes all the way down next to him on the other side, so he can grab gears, without even thinking about it. I mean, there's just so much innovation in these carts that, yes, they do need to get paid, and paid well.
Yeah, I agree. And we got a new nickname for Lippy.
Uh-oh.
Glenn Mike Burris Tower.
I get excited once in a while.
Hey, you know what? And you know what? This show says it asks if it has any bad language. But you know what? That isn't bad language. That's just passion. That's what that is.
Yes,
that
sir.
is sheer passion. So know the difference, folks. That's what that is. But yeah, I mean, you look at DI. I mean, and we've talked about, but it's all right because we're just freestyling tonight anyway till we get back on track. But I'm telling you, you just watch the tire programs of those teams down there. I mean, that alone is a job. I mean, that's above and beyond doing chassis adjustments or doing, I mean, that is a whole nother job in itself, I think. I mean, it would be for me. But those guys are doing that job, and they're adjusting on their chassis, and they're having their head in to the race, you know, to know what they need. I mean, these guys are pros. I mean, I don't even know how to say it any other way. If you don't think these guys are pros, you need to come spend a day out here, and it won't even take that before you realize these guys are all over it.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the West Coast guys because that's just what we have in front of us and what we see all the time. I know there's a lot more stuff that's going on back east that we don't even have a clue about. You know, we lost touch with Felch when he went back there now, and you know, Snow's doing a lot of good stuff, and Robbie's doing a lot of good stuff back there, and there, you know, there's just as many teams back east that are doing the same stuff.
Hey, and by the way, too, I wanted to mention. Because I talked to Yao at quite some length. No, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend yet, but we did talk on the phone for 4 hours.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, you are next level.
So, but he wants to get together on Friday night. I know there's the goldfish race, whatnot, but he wanted to. So if there's any interest from any of you guys that wanted to maybe he was wanting to go to like a pizza joint or somewhere, you know, whatever. Maybe we just get together and we throw a couple of dryerfuls of wood. I don't know if we can burn wood there or not, but
yep. So
we do that and get him there. That might be more to our advantage because if we get a few drinks in him, we could probably get a whole lot more information out of. You know what I mean?
We'll be extracting.
That's right. We'll have him on the chair. But no, he wanted to put together a time where people could ask him questions that they had. You know, and he says, I'm not trying to say I'm something great. I'm just saying, hey, maybe people have questions that I can answer. And if I can, I'll tell them what I do, and they can take it from there. So what's wrong with that? So if you're interested in that, let me know, because I'd like to set up something because he offered to do it. And he says, and plus not only that, it'd be a cool way for me to get to know. So, I mean, you know, he was thinking.
It's like a meet and greet.
Yeah, but he doesn't want it to be like, hey, I'm Robbie Yao the Great. You know, he just says, I just want a chance to get to know everybody because it sounds like a pretty awesome deal. So you're going to be blown away at how cool the guy is. I mean, you may have heard this, that, and the other thing, but make no judgments until you meet this guy. I mean, you are going to be, wait till you meet Chris C. I mean, that alone is going to be worth going.
Looking forward to that.
I mean, I cannot wait to meet this guy. I mean, to me, they don't get any cooler than Chris C. So, other than maybe JP and Cervantes, you know, the car owners. But, man, yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, there's a lot of cool stuff you guys need to take advantage of. The Tony Williamsons, the Bob Kemmers, the Brian Williamsons. I mean, don't kid yourself. You know, Yao runs clone stuff too. So you guys want a chance to really get some information. I mean, something other than just, you need to take advantage of this kind of stuff. I mean, you know, I know we take it and we kind of blow it off and we don't really pay attention, but man, you guys, ask some of those questions you've been dying to ask and dying to know, because here's your chance to find out. Am I lying?
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely what you know. It's your opportunity. He promises to be an open book, so he's not going to hold anything back. He doesn't, you know, it's not his end of the world. You know, he's from the back east back there, so he's just trying to give us anything he can so that when we do get back there, we kind of understand the game a little bit more, or at least it in his perspective. So, you know, that's definitely going to be worth it. And yeah, I can't wait. That's a great deal.
So, Jeff, even somebody like you is going to learn a lot, right? Because you say, well, you know, I'm not around. But you can ask all those burning questions that maybe you have that'll answer 95% of those other questions that you have about the sport.
Yeah, like, why don't you cut off the right side of your spoiler on the side of your car and only run the left side? Because that was really fast in the other. He's still trying to get me to do that, but I spent a lot of money on that wrap. I'm gonna take
Oh,
that
well.
side panel off and cut up another one and put it on there just to try it though, because he's got a good point. I understand his point. and his
Well, we're
theory.
gonna go to work on that.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on that because I mean, Lippy is Squinia. He's approachable. We'll go to work on that. But I think for you that'd be good to what I mean. It'll answer a lot of those because a lot of those questions are like you ask a question and they answer 15 other ones that you have because you can kind of apply one answer to a lot of different things. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I agree, but I have one right now that when you're talking with the, you're talking a chain. Your chain runs on a sprocket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you put your belt. It runs on a
cog.
On a belt driver.
On a belt driver. But where does the gear? I mean, is it all off the back axle? You don't change the front?
Well, no, this is all internal. So what they do is they take the actual shifting mechanism out of the motorcycle motor in the enclosed case. So, you have your clutches enclosed and you have your trannies enclosed in there. They take all that stuff out. So basically what it's doing is taking the place of where all your shifting gears were inside the case.
Get rid of rotating weight, too.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. And so then it comes right off the crankshaft. It goes back to what is in essence a jack shaft because it comes down this side of it. It moves the motor drive gear out the other side of it. So that's its main purpose. And yeah, you're right. It does. It takes a lot of rotating weight. Some people leave the shifting stuff all in there. They just leave it in third gear and run it. But yeah, you're right. It does.
I think is that what Ronnie does? I know he shifts. He'll shift down, and shift up but it's just one time. I don't think it's more than once. But.
Right, yeah. A lot of them run in third gear typically, but it's easier to take off in second gear and then shift up into it. And I don't know if Ronnie's still doing that or not. I know that I believe that Rusty King was still doing that as well, and I believe that Kevin White was still doing that as well, too, so...
So I mean, I don't know that it's a difference between whether or not you can win or not. It's just that innovation that Lippy was talking about. That's there. I mean, it's
yeah. I don't think it is. These motors are really pretty close, and for the most part. So
Brent Meyer says Lippy sounds smart. LOL.
Yeah, smart ass. Almost got me.
JP says the chain deal is a time bomb.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Well, that was some of the things, especially when you're just watching them. I'm thinking because I've only seen them carts twice. Seen them once out the RV park, and then the day down there.
And you didn't, and you saw just a little of that. Yeah.
So I mean, the innovation is that's always the thing that drove me into racing, is getting to do my own thing.
Oh, wait till you just wait. Jeff,
I have to wait.
Unfortunately, yes, you do.
Not long, but
long, but you do. But I'm telling you right now, if it's innovation that you like, oh my god, and it's competition you like, and you ask Lippy, you could go to 10 races, and this one race you will feel completely different than you do the other 9.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, for me, it is, I mean, even the classic is pretty cool, but there's just something about the BK that's just, I don't know, it just seems monumental to me. I don't know. I don't know any other way to put it.
Arizona has a phenomenal facility. There's no doubt about that. But for some reason, their numbers have dropped in the last 10 or 15 years. So kart count-wise, Phoenix doesn't really compare to the BK right now because the BK is going to pull in 30-plus karts in that class. We had 18 down there this last weekend. So kart count-wise, it's going to be a totally different thing, and people are coming from all over. Definitely people came from Texas and quite a few other places for the Phoenix deal, but we're getting people from much further east for the BK this year. So,
and I do want to say the Mayos, we told them, Jason, about how the support poured in to get them up to the BK, and I know both Jason and Christy were just like, wow. that's what we have for race people, you know. And boy, she ran good down there.
She did. They had a little bit of issue with their injection system, and Jason, being the absolutely phenomenal crew member that he is, determined what it was, double-checked it, found that a plugged injector, cleaned it out, and they were back underway hauling the mail.
Yeah, really running good. So Diotti wins day 1 in the UAS. Chase wins day 2. You know, that track was huge. When they started all those, that was a lot of go-karts on there.
Oh, my goodness.
It was crazy cool. But another guy that ran good, the Arizona Opens, that was won by Ryan Fernandez.
You couldn't wait to do that.
I couldn't wait. And he loves it, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that it was cool to see that class.
It was. That was a really great class with just as many people in it as the UAS. I think there was somewhere between 18 and 20 in that class as well. And that's just all old school, air-cooled. Some of them were twin motors. Some of them weren't. You know, it was just, that was a great class. It was very, very, very racy. I really enjoyed that class. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of, it was a super, a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you the other thing, the Yamaha guys need to go down to that event.
Oh yeah.
If we really wanted to find out who the fastest KT on the West Coast. Now I got to say, and this is I love my Peeps and I love my Italian Assassin. But I got to say, the two, Nick Ellenberger and Cody Welker,
the most,
and Ryan Most. I'm going to tell you what, those three guys, and Renee was strong.
Renee on Friday.
Renee was very strong.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you, there's going to have to be one Yamaha race that decides this, because it does put maybe a bit of a shadow of a doubt. Now, granted, we're seeing them on their home track.
Yep.
Which, Passanante would be there, and I guarantee you he would be fast, but that would not be his home track. So I've always said that's one of the traits that he carries that makes him so good, is his ability to be fast everywhere.
Yeah.
And not really have to search a long time to get there.
Yeah, both Corey Markham and Chris Passanante
I agree.
Are both phenomenally fast at every place that we've been to. So that's very hard to do. Very hard to do. So
that's one of them large seat times, though.
Yeah,
you're right.
Had seat time,
But a lot of it too, though, and Lippy can probably really attest to this more than most, because he runs several different classes. But when you run several classes, something suffers. It has to, right?
Yeah,
it's hard to be consistently fast. So hence, maybe the Assassin's UAS program, although it's coming.
It is, yeah.
He'll be, I guarantee you, he will be there. But it's taken him a little bit longer on that end of it. But, of course, he hasn't done much Yamaha stuff either. So, it's a trade-off. But I guess what I'm trying to say is those guys are amazingly good for as many classes as they constantly run.
But see, you and like you said, it's seat time, though. It's just like when I was down there at Salem that last time watching Renee. She was out there, and she just, she went through the corner like, she ain't even turning the wheel.
Yep.
And it just, you know the amount of seat time it takes to get to that. It doesn't have to be right now. It could be what you've done for the last 10 years. But when and this I agree with, I think with those unlimited carts, you got to concentrate on it, or you got to have a bunch of people helping you. Because I've seen guys, in fact, we got a family of them down at Elma. They run a hobby stock and a modified. They both suffer because they don't have time to work on them.
Mm-hmm.
You're jumping out of one car into another car. By the time you get back in, heck, they're getting ready to shoot mains out.
Right.
You do not have the time to properly take care of your car.
Well, and you look at guys like Diotti who switched, that he completely took his off of his main car, his UAS car, to put the clone on there, and he ran the clone the next day, and then The clone had issues. They fought that a little bit, and then they ran like a house of fire when it ran. But then they had to go back and switch all that stuff back over and put the UAS, piece back on there. It's just amazing to me that they got. I mean, that's a lot of little things that could go wrong when you're unhooking and rechanging, and it's what I mean. The less you can do, the better. But boy, for them to make a complete engine swap and two different ones, I mean, not even really the same. I mean, we're talking apples and oranges here. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, I'd have my hats off to him. That's when you start switching that much stuff, that's insane.
It is insane. I mean, Jeff, I'm gonna try to get the Hitman on here.
Let's save him for next week.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, Hitman, we're gonna save you for next week. We're gonna get your thoughts on Phoenix, but and we're gonna get back to normal once we get here. This was just kind of again, this was all Lippy's. All Lippy's. He was like, nope, we're not giving up. Yep. That's
not hard.
Part of the team. Yeah, no, big. Because I was like, well, you know what? We're probably gonna have to take a week off. Which but Lippy said, nope. Let's not throw in the towel yet. We're gonna get it going. So
yeah, because I called him today. I wasn't. And he goes, well, we're probably not. I haven't heard from Lippy. So
yeah.
Then and I probably should have stayed home, but she told me to leave.
Well, and that's another thing. I want to. Some of you Carters may know him. You probably don't, but for some of those that maybe have that crossed over a little bit, good friend of mine. His name is Bob Sorensen, drag racer. Of course, Jeff knew him.
Circle track.
Yeah, he did circle track. He come from a drag racing background, but he passed on yesterday morning. I was blessed enough to spend 3 years of my racing career with him. He came on and just started helping me, and 1 minute I'm running a 327, and the next minute, he's got a 406-inch small block in my car, and we went racing for about 3 seasons on the dirt, and he's a heck of a guy.
We when I was working at Gary's off and on there, we actually built him a front motor dragster because of the way his legs. The throttle pedal couldn't tip over; it had to go straight back and forth.
That's correct. Yeah,
we built all that throttle pedal and all the brake stuff for him.
Yeah, he was a police officer for many years down in California, and he was involved in a bank robbery. Was shot in the back, and they said he'd never walk again. But
that almost didn't sound right. He was involved in the bank robbery?
Well, he wasn't involved in it. He was a police officer responding to the bank robbery, and he got shot in the back, and they said he wouldn't walk again, but with braces, this guy was an animal. I mean,
strong as an ox.
Yep. He had to run a lot of glides and the roundy round stuff because of his feet, whatever, but he didn't let it hold him back. He was a great guy. I'm a better guy for having I learned a lot of little stuff off of him. So
I from just his courage to do what he did. That's and I knew him from that, just being around the shop and stuff. I always enjoyed when he showed up.
Yeah, he was a classy guy, man. And and again, he was one of those guys that loved the sport. He was just crazy cool. So I'm trying to figure out Alan. So Welker didn't go on to win it on Friday, right? He was second, but he got DQ'd for fuel.
He did get DQ'd for fuel, and that was the Yamaha class. So Most was first.
Yeah, and he was now Ellenberger, I believe, won it on he won light.
Right.
And then they ran heavy, and Nick Ellenberger or Ryan Most won it, and that guy, let me just tell you, or no, Tyler Most, that was his name. He was epic.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say it.
That kid can wheel.
He can really wheel.
I think I seen him in a clone kart, I seen him in the KT kart, and I seen him in a cage kart.
And how about our boy Ollie? Ollie Rolwitz, dude. I thought he was getting ready to go win that thing, and he just didn't quite have the speed, but he got third. He maybe should have had second. I'm not sure how that all played out. I think I'm not going to argue with scoring. They did a pretty darn good job there. I'm not sure on this call, but Ollie finishes third. He wasn't. It didn't appear he was going to do that good earlier on in the week.
No, they struggled a little bit.
And then, boy, Grandpa McDowell had a chat, and boy, he was he was right there. He won his heat race on Friday. And then main event, he was on the pole, and he led the first 5 or 6 laps. I mean, they had to run him down, and he hangs on for third. So that was and boy, Scott was so excited, right? He's grabbing, we're second, you know. He was just so excited. It was just super.
Yeah, Scott made some good calls. He actually ended up going up 2 teeth on his clutch driver, just on a hunch, and it really paid off. So that was big for him. It gave him the acceleration off the corner that he had been missing.
And so Scott learned something. See what I mean? What a great, even if you don't win, you're. It's like what you were just saying about that loads of seat time. That's experience right there. You can't buy that. Nope.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you buy it when you go there, but I mean, it's just precious.
Yeah, but I mean, you look how young he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's starting, and that confidence will start building. And then the next class, that confidence just shows. You know, that's the cool thing about watching the kids come up.
Well, yeah, that, and you could just see from the heat race to the main the confidence gain. You know, I feel kind of at home here now. I kind of felt like this wasn't my track, but boy, howdy, he really did a nice job. Well, a super nice job.
And that's I get a kick out of watching the younger ones that come in down at Grays Harbor. You start watching them kids are out there and they're behind, and the guy's blowing by them at 10 laps, and it's a 25 lap, and
right.
You know, and then as the year progresses, all of a sudden we're not behind. You know, we may not got lapped till 18. The next year, they're up front.
And, you know, that really does mean something. I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. We're kind of helter skelter all over the. You look at Tim Chase says Fernandez did a great job. Yeah, he did do a good job. And, you know, not only that, those of you that if you haven't had a chance to listen to Wednesday night show. We had him on. What a great kid. I mean, just a fantastic kid he is. I mean, he's very well spoken. They struggled hard on Friday, boy.
Yeah, they did. He actually blew a motor up, which was a rough break for him. Put a hole through the block and everything.
Was that the 250?
No. That was his clone. Wallace, I believe, ended up his teammate coming in second, which is a great finish by him because he did struggle on Friday for sure. The clone class was great down there to watch. Very, very racy, very equal. People were always switching positions, and the big momentum gain is the thing down there. And you're going to get to see them at the BK. I believe Jason put something up today too that said anybody that wants to run their 206 in the clone class, the clone guys are welcoming that. So you got a chance to have a couple more races if you want to, if that's what you want to do, which is a great opportunity there. Those guys down there all race really, really clean and have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, you know, Dan Watt, because there's a couple of words here. Matt Strebe posts up, just got word Joe Ransom will be changing from 206 to UAS at BK9.
Wow.
Tell me that's not a jump.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're ready for that one, Jammin' Joe Ransom, but I'm sure you are. Dan Watkins put that facility is the best I've ever been to.
Yeah, for sure. I'll agree with that.
You know, it is. Yeah. Yeah, you know, and of course, you know, Torres, bless his heart, you know, made me way bigger than I was. I have not been all over the United States. But, you know, Scott Batten said, you know, he's been all over, you know, but it is.
We're working on it.
We are working on it. We'll be back next year. I know that for the Classic. We're going to have to really save because we got the Classic, we got the Nationals, then the Classic. But I'm telling you, if.
When's the Nationals?
September.
September, yeah.
That looks like a good time for me to take about a week's vacation and stay in Phoenix.
Yeah, baby. It'll be. the Nationals are going to be off the hook. And they're talking about bringing some supporting classes, maybe the Yamahas, and I don't know.
Did they talked about Yamaha? They had talked about the 206,
right?
And maybe even the clones. We'll see how many they have room for. They really want to concentrate though on the UAS and make it a good show. So.
Absolutely. But if you're thinking you want to do that, the best way to get yourself in line is to make some noise. And you can do that by contacting Joe Torres at the Arizona UAS Facebook page. So drop him a line, let him know that you might be interested. The more the merrier. I'm just going to tell you, if you're having any questions about whether or not you want to go to the Nationals, you want to go. This will be, even if you don't think you've got a snowball's chance, it doesn't matter. Go to this event, get some seat time. I think Lippy said one of the night, he says, you come here just to get experience. This is some great experience that you're just not going to get anywhere else. You're just not.
Nope. It's by far the most grip on the West Coast. I don't know of any place else that can give you that kind of grip around here.
Except for maybe ORV.
ORV might have a bit more grip, but you ain't going to get nothing smoother than Phoenix.
And Chase might second that. I don't know.
For sure.
VHT.
Yeah, VHT. No, the calcium is what they use. They put 7 pounds of calcium on that thing on Thursday morning. So, and it was crazy to see him spread it all on there with a lawn fertilizer spreader.
Yeah.
So that was pretty impressive. I had never seen that before, and definitely something I want to try.
Claire, you were talking about the Downy. Claire used to use soap.
Yeah, but I think they say soap, but I think it was
it was
the calcium. I want to say because,
but that's the reason that Willamette always stayed moist, didn't go dry slick.
Well, it went dry slick, but it was always like you could see the car, and it was like smooth as glass.
And that was one of his deals. But a lot of places you get in trouble because of the what I want to say that's in it.
It's corrosive.
And it'll if it gets into the groundwater, then it shows up on test, and then
that's the problem with ORV is we have a stream that's about 35 feet away from the side of the track, 40 feet. So that's definitely a problem.
So for some of the people that may be wondering, because I'm sure we've had some talk and we talked about it. What is ORV looking like?
Well, I haven't had my meeting with them. We're probably going to do that after the Salem race on the 14th and 15th, and then I'll have my meeting with them and see where we stand. And I'm hopeful, but my preliminary conversation with them it was not a positive one.
So keep that in mind.
We'll have to wait and see. I have been in contact with Rainier. Rainier's is open arms. They would love to have us come there. So it's not like we're going to be done and shut down. It's just a matter of where we're going to land. I had considered also doing something down at Castle Rock, but after talking to a few competitors that have been in the business for a long time, they assured me that wouldn't be a good one to run a full series at if we didn't want our numbers to decrease due to death. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna argue that one.
I don't know. If you look back, he's right. There's definitely been somebody sent to the hospital each and every time. So,
well, too big.
Yes, too big with cement walls. Yamahas, I'm told, are going to be running about 70 miles an hour. So that's UAS, you can probably bet they're going to be around 100.
Yeah.
So no cage and a cement wall is
I got to witness that down at South Sound when I had my cage cart, and we had a guy with an open shifter cart come through turn 4 and got up too high and hit where you come out on the track. He hit that, just literally took his helmet, just busted in a million pieces.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't want to be any part of
that.
that.
Spent 18 days in the hospital.
That's I don't know.
It's still
you hate
to
say, and it's not saying that it's ruled out. Maybe there's some safety barriers they can put there. I don't know. It's wide enough where they could I don't know.
You can bring hay in if you had to.
Well, and that's something I thought about too. And I was also heard through the grapevine at the end of last year that they were considering building a smaller track inside of the big track. So if they did that, then we would have enough runoff, and it would take enough footage off of it where it would still be bigger than anything we're used to, but it would just help us out
Safety-wise.
Yeah, safety-wise, which would make my insurance company much happier. So
Well, too, and like we had been talking earlier, you would come to more of a central location. It isn't as close
yes,
for this club, but what can you draw out of Oregon? What can you draw? And then that type of thing.
yeah, and also I need to put a shout out also or mention that this weekend is the ice races. We haven't really talked or hit.
Yeah,
on
we
that at
haven't
all.
hit that, and that we should.
It's going to be a good deal, a big deal if anybody's around or is making it to that.
Well, now Lippy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think our own Rocket Ronnie Cox is a national a former national champion in that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. He is. He ran all around the United States with it a few years back, and had a great time. This is a different promoter, and look for better things, I'm told, because the previous promoter wasn't very kart friendly. He would allow us, but wasn't very kart friendly. The new guy that's taking it over now is very kart friendly. I'm told that he was a previous racer of karts. So
Awesome. That's what we need.
yeah. So look for some good things.
Where's this at?
It's at the Tacoma Dome, isn't it? Don't they have it?
No, I don't think it. I think it's at the Showware, and then it's going to be, which is in Kent, and then I don't know if they're going to do the Renton one or not.
What Watkins? Yeah, because Daniel won it last year.
Yes, he did. He did
So
a great job.
Where
so-
where was it at exactly, Watkins?
or where is it going to be at this year?
Yeah, if you know, maybe post it
The
up
show
there.
where they could be going between the hockey players.
It was actually
Score!
I've done it, and it's a
Oh, you got to
blast.
do it?
Oh yeah, Rusty did the Showware, and then I went to Kent the following weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we had a great time.
Everett.
Yeah.
Ever okay. Well, so as a driver, how
that's-
much different is it than being out on the dirt?
Well, you would think that you're just totally loose and out of control, but with those studded tires that we have, you're not. I mean, it is very much like treads and tear-offs, basically. I mean, you throw it into the corner, you chase the tail end all the way around it. By probably the second or third lap, there's a pretty good duff on the outside, so if you want to work the berm, you can, or if you want to just use the brakes and stay on the bottom and guard, you can do that, and it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of
Wow,
fun.
I didn't know you had done that before. That's excellent. Well, shoot, yeah. Comcast Arena in Everett.
There you go.
And when is that? Saturday?
Yeah, it's Saturday, yep. I believe it starts at 7.
Well, you know what? That sounds interesting enough. I might be able to get the wife to go up there.
Oh, yeah, it's for spectators. It is off the hook. It's by far the biggest crowd that I've ever. It's 7,000 people at the one I was at, and it was great. The year that I went, I was tagging along with my boss, so we had the whole Shrek crew there, and there was a whole section with shirts on and hooting and hollering, and it was.
Should we get? Do you think we should get some Shrek outfits?
I think I still have one of the T-shirts, so. But it was.
We go up there with Shrek masks on. Wouldn't that be fun?
It was a good time, definitely.
Wow.
I'm looking for Fiona.
You better hush, Jeff, or you'd be looking for a place to live. You talk Fiona too much. Hey, and by the way, super, super, super sorry to hear about your mother-in-law. That's
Yeah.
that's a tough deal,
Yeah, the wife is taking it rather. For those of you who don't know, I mean, my mother-in-law's got stage 4 colon cancer, and it's pretty much they're going to try to do some stuff, but there isn't much there. They told her to give her
man.
a couple of years maybe, and so
Irreversible. That's
yeah,
no good.
we're just
Well, you're gonna make the best of it. That's all you can
We're going to
do.
deal with it, and we know whose hands it's in. It's not ours.
Nope.
And those are probably the best hands it could be in.
Oh, yeah, he's the chief surgeon.
The
Well-
chief surgeon.
It's nice too that you've got a couple years, so you guys can really make the best of it. It's much worse when they give you weeks, so that's the good thing. Just make the best of it. That's all you can do.
But
make,
that lets us know.
make memories.
Thank you, and that you do that by going to the classic.
We did.
Yeah, for sure. That's These are some of the greatest.
You know, I would like to commend you. I paid attention the whole time, and I did not hear you give me an epic all day.
No, I had. If you listen back to the Facebook, the selfie Facebook, I had 1.5, and the only reason why Rocket heard me say it, I said it's going to be. No, I can't. He says that counts as a half.
Way to go, Rocket.
So yeah, I had 1.5, but yeah, good. Thank you. I worked on it. Sometimes you just have to say.
Well, I even tried to bait you, and you wouldn't do it.
Well, I know what you're doing, though, too. Hey, guys, good show tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I know it was a little bit kind of off the.
You have to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, it was just exciting. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I'm telling you, go take your good buddy, like I was fortunate enough to do, and go down to the Classic, hang out. Rent a 840i convertible, I'm going to tell you.
Woo!
And Tyler Most was epic, Matt Strebe.
And tell him you want the traction control off.
Yeah. Rental cars. Write them in. Every rental car everywhere, especially SIXTH, 6th. That's who we rented through. Write them and say you want the traction control turned off on all luxury vehicles.
And be sure and buy the insurance.
Hey, next week I got some cool stuff.
Cool. What do you got?
I've been through most all the tracks that started posting their schedules, and I'm gonna kind of highlight
Super.
some of the bigger races or some of the guys. If you're interested in the big track, then we'll give you some where you might be able to go.
Super. And we're going to have some news. We're going to be talking more and more about the BK as that starts to come up. We're going to be talking about this next weekend's ice race. Maybe, who knows, we might be up there. And also Salem comes back on. The cage carts are there for their 2-day show this weekend.
Right. We're going to get Diotti's take on Arizona.
Diotti's take on Arizona, too. He'll be our in-the-seat guest. In the meantime, stay tuned. We're going to get the website stuff all squared away so you guys can go back to having a good home. And but you've got one, www.nwrr.blogspot.com. That's temporary. We'll be back. Or you can go to the Northwest Race Report on Spreaker and just follow the link there. Or we'll do a better job of getting them posted up on Facebook so you can follow the link. It's supposed to automatically do that. I don't know if it's doing that or not.
I got that today, so it did.
So it did. Yes. Good deal. So, fantastic.
Didn't come on Twitter, I don't know.
It didn't? Well, my Twitter is on, so I'll have to... Maybe you're not following me.
You Twitterers.
You twit. So anyway, guys, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the great support. I know I'm speaking for Lippy, but it was it was awesome. Lippy, haven't got your BK commit yet.
Yeah, no, I'm still holding out on that. I know everybody's been bugging me about the sportsman class. Right now, Renee's the only one signed up for it. Nobody else has signed up for it. So, yeah, I talked to Rusty about it last night. He's still undecided. I'm still undecided. We hope to have a decision by this weekend.
All right. That's it. We're out of here, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Same time, 6:30. We'll have some cool info for you. Another great show. Look for the Hitman, Ryan Diotti, to be our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest. We love you. Happy New Year, everybody.